The first stages of succession depend pretty much on the type of habitat that we're talking about or that we're going to be working with. Classically, succession begins with what is known as the pioneer stage. This is a type of succession known as primary succession. Now this occurs in natural habitats, that is in forest areas that have been burnt off, on bare rock, and it does not involve man's interference. The first stage in primary succession is the pioneer stage. The pioneer stage is characterized dominantly by lichens, algae, and if it's moist enough, fungi. If you think of a bare rock, this type of succession. That pioneer stage then sets the stage for the next stage in succession, the next seral stage in succession, which is the moss stage. The moss stage is able to take hold because plants associated with the pioneer stage have altered the habitat, allowing for the mosses to develop. Lichens, for example, prepare rock surfaces for other types of plant growth, that is, by the beginnings of soil creation. The moss stage is then able to take hold, and the mosses then, in their activity, prepare that habitat, that forest floor area or that rock surface, for the next stage in succession. Although there are very few animal-type organisms associated with the pioneer stage, we do get the beginnings of animal succession with the moss stage. Because in the moss stage, a few types of insects start to appear associated with that types of vegetation. As we go further through the successional stages, animals play more and more of a part as plant seral stages continue to succeed each other one after the other. Now today we're standing in front of a plowed field. This plowed field, of course, is an example of man's modification of the natural habitat, and this is becoming more and more prevalent. Man's agriculture, grazing animals, housing developments, whatever. All of this has modified the normal type of primary or pioneer succession and has produced what ecologists refer to as a secondary succession. Now in a secondary succession, there is no pioneer or moss stage normally. There's a couple of reasons for this. First, the soil associated with plowing has already been conditioned and the porosity's been increased, the tilth of the soil, so that it's more primed for the higher plants that are normally associated with later stages in succession. Second, there's also usually a higher nutrient content. Nitrates, phosphates, calcium, other nutrients that are important to the plants that are going through the successional stages are going to be higher in agriculture, in grazing, whatever, man's modification. So that there is no pioneer stage, no moss stage, and secondary succession starts directly with the grass stage. You'll often see it referred to as the grass herb stage or the grass sedge stage. This is not only characterized by that type of vegetation, but there's also animals or animal types succeeding along with the grasses and sedges. For example, insects, small mammals that feed on the insects, and various types of birds that are also insectivores. Either case, primary or secondary, this sets the stage for the next levels in succession.